I don't know why I thought a solo hike that late in the day was a good idea. It was supposed to be a quick loop, 3 miles tops, in the forest near my uncle's cabin in northern Maine. I'd walked it dozens of times before, but never this late and never alone. But that day I felt restless. I told myself I'd finish before sunset. I was wrong. The trees out there are thick, the kind that swallow sunlight whole. I didn't notice how fast the sky dimmed until the shadows stretched too far across the dirt path, blurring the way forward. Then, somewhere along the way, I stepped off the trail. It was so small, just a few feet to the left, to check what I thought was a deer track. But when I turned back, the path was gone. I spun in circles, heart pounding. No markers, no clear way back. The forest closed in tight, trunks and underbrush all looking the same. I reached for my phone. 1% battery. I turned on the flashlight, a dim, flickering glow that barely lit the mossy ground. And I knew it would die soon. I moved fast, trying to find the trail again, but every step felt like a mistake. Twigs snapped underfoot, branches clawed at my jacket. Worse, the woods around me weren't silent anymore. There were sounds, not animals, not wind. Footsteps, faint, slow, somewhere off to my left, then behind me, like something circling. I froze, held my breath. The footsteps stopped too. I spun in the darkness, eyes straining. Nothing. The phone died in my hand. Total blackness. I stood there, blind, swallowing panic, ears sharp for any movement. That's when I heard breathing. Not mine. Deep, ragged breathing. Close. I stepped backwards, slowly. My boot hit something soft. Moss, maybe. But when I reached down to steady myself, my fingers brushed something I can't explain. Cloth, damp like a torn piece of shirt. I yanked my hand back. The breathing got louder. Right in front of me now. I backed away fast, tripped over something, and crashed to the ground. My hand landed on something hard. Metal? I grabbed it. An old lantern. Rusted. Cold. Without thinking, I twisted the knob, and it flared. To life. The glow lit the woods in a sick, yellow light. And there, 10 feet away, was a man. Or what looked like a man. He was pale, clothes shredded, face slack like he'd been out here forever. His eyes were locked on me, and he smiled. Branches whipped my face. I didn't care. I ran until the light flickered out and the forest swallowed me again. I don't know how, but I stumbled back onto the trail, gasping, shaking, bleeding from small cuts on my arms. The stars were out. The moon lit the path, and the breathing was gone. But when I looked at my hand, I was still holding the lantern, the old rusted lantern I'd never seen before, still warm. I left it by the cabin that night. The next morning, it was gone, and somewhere, deep in the woods, I swear, I can still hear footsteps. I never should have wandered so far from the trail. The plan was simple. Spend a quiet weekend camping alone in the mountains, away from the city, away from people. Just me, my tent, and the silence of the forest. But on the second day, curiosity got the better of me. I wanted to explore, to see how far the woods stretched beyond the marked path. My phone lost signal almost immediately. No GPS, no map. The trees here were thicker, tangled, casting strange shadows across the ground. It didn't take long before I realized I'd gone too far. There was no sign of the trail. Every direction looked the same. That's when I saw it. Cabin, hidden behind a wall of old pines. Weathered, crooked, half sunk into the earth. Its roof sagged. The wood was gray with age. The windows were broken out, jagged glass still clinging to the frames. But there was smoke rising from the chimney. That stopped me cold. I stood there, heart pounding, staring at the thin line of smoke curling into the sky. Who the hell was out? Here, there was no road, no driveway, no way in or out except on foot. And this place wasn't on any map. I should have turned around. I should have left, but I didn't. I crept closer. The door was slightly open. The smell of old wood and damp earth poured out. I pushed it wider. Inside it was dark, dusty, but not empty. A chair sat in the middle of the room facing the fireplace. A fire crackled low inside, casting a faint glow. Someone had been here, recently. On the table I saw a tin cup, half full, and photos, dozens of them, scattered across the floor, the walls, the table. All of them were pictures of me, hiking, the trail, setting up my tent, eating by the fire the night before. Some were taken that morning. I could tell by the clothes I was wearing. One photo showed me sleeping in my tent, zipped up inside, alone. Or so I thought. I felt sick. I stumbled backwards, bumping into the chair. And that's when I noticed the smell. Not wood. Not smoke. Rot. It was coming from the corner of the room. There, half hidden by a torn blanket, was a body, or what was left of one, mummified, curled tight like it had been there for years, and yet the fire was burning. I ran. I crashed through the door, into the woods, heart hammering. I didn't care which way I was going. I just wanted to get away. Somehow, after what felt like forever, I found the trail again. I never went back to that part of the forest. I told myself maybe it was a hunter's cabin, maybe someone passing through. But deep down, I know the truth. Someone knew I was there, and they'd been watching me the whole time. This happened 3 summers ago, and I've never told anyone. Part of me still thinks I imagined it, but deep down, I know I didn't. I was camping alone in a remote forest in northern Oregon, not far from a place called Black Hollow, where old logging trails crisscross the woods. I'd gone out there to clear my head, away from work, noise, and people. The first 2 days were normal, quiet, peaceful, but the third night, something changed. It was around midnight when I heard voices. At first, I thought it was the wind, whispering through the trees. But these weren't whispers. They were words, chanting, low, steady, rhythmic. I unzipped the tent and carefully stepped outside. No flashlight, no fire, just moonlight filtering through the branches. The chanting was louder now, strange syllables, like no language I'd ever heard. I crept through the underbrush, heart pounding, following the sound. That's when I saw them, a clearing up ahead, glowing faintly with firelight. And around the fire stood 5 women. Their faces were hidden under dark hoods, long cloaks trailing in the dirt. Barefoot, hands raised, moving in slow, deliberate circles, chanting. It wasn't a performance. It wasn't for fun. Something real was happening there. I crouched behind a fallen tree, barely breathing. Then one of them stopped. She turned, slowly, like she knew I was there. Her face was pale, thin, eyes wide and empty as glass. She smiled, and she spoke to me. Not in words, not aloud, but straight into my head. "You shouldn't be here." I staggered backwards, tripping on the roots. But when I looked up, they were all facing me now. Silent, staring. One of them raised her hand, and the fire went out. Darkness swallowed the clearing. I ran. Branches slashed my arms and face. My chest burned. Behind me, I heard the sound of feet. Soft, fast, impossible. Like they were gliding just above the ground. I broke into a small ravine, slid down and hid beneath an overhang of rock and moss. My heart was racing so hard, thought it would explode. I listened. Nothing. Minutes passed, maybe hours. When I finally crept back up to the clearing, it was empty. No fire, no footprints, like nothing had ever been there at all. But when I reached my campsite, someone had been there. The tent was slashed open, my backpack dumped out, and on the dirt, right by the fire pit, was a small bundle of sticks tied with hair, human hair. I left everything and ran for the trail. I didn't stop until I reached my car, miles away. I don't go camping alone anymore, and some nights, when I'm trying to sleep, I hear chanting in the back of my mind. Low, soft, like they're still out there, waiting.